20 to 25% ARR. If you want to copy NVIDIA, you will beat everybody. But I think that right now in the boardrooms of Microsoft and Apple and Google and Tesla, they're stressed out about copying NVIDIA. And the irony is, it's easy to copy MicroStrategy. I just gave you the playbook. It's simple. This is how it compounds over 4 years. Right? 4 years of doing that gets you to a 1,300% improvement. So, bottom line, build a strong capital structure, avoid dilutive financial practices. Let's talk about an institution. You got a church, a charity, an endowment of Harvard, any nonprofit. What should you do? Modify your charter to invest in BTC. Reallocate from short-term duration assets to long-duration assets. You wouldn't invest in ice cream cones. Don't invest in the peso, but why are you holding 20-year financial instruments? Don't own 50-year physical land instruments. Buy a 1,000-year instrument. Use BTC. BTC is the cost of capital, not the S&P. The S&P is 13%. BTC is 55%. Right? Think of 55%. That's your cost of capital. And then use intelligent leverage. Okay, here's our model, $1 billion portfolio. You want to be a normie, a maxi, a triple maxi. Here, at the maxi, we just said put 100% in at the double maxi, and triple maxi is take 10% leverage. And that's what happens. You start with $1 billion, and in 21 years, you'll have $5 billion of your normie, and you'll be patting yourself on the back, talking about what a good job you've done managing the endowment. But it could have been 300 billion. It could have been 100x. Not that hard, very straightforward. Now let's talk about wealth of nations. This is the interesting one. What's the national Bitcoin strategy? Do's and don'ts. Well, reallocate your treasury from gold and bonds, they're short duration assets, to a 10,000-year asset. Issue currency to buy Bitcoin, issue debt to buy the Bitcoin, encourage Bitcoin ownership with favorable laws, protect self-custody for individuals and corporations, and support integration with the banking system of your country. Those are all do's. The don't pursue policies hostile to Bitcoin and Bitcoin holders. This one's not complicated. Now, let's say you're an indebted country. You're actually in debt. You're running a deficit. I could name these countries, but I won't. I'm just going to say you owe a lot of money and you're struggling, your interest rates are high, and you don't know what to do. Well, here's your strategies. Are you a normie or a 10%er or a maxi, double maxi, or triple maxi? The maxi is you put a third of your treasury into this. A double maxi is 65%. And a triple maxi is put all your treasury into it and start issuing debt. For those of you who can actually read, right, the subtext of this is the first country to buy Bitcoin by issuing its own currency wins. This is simple. You print paper. Remember that Seward check? You issue the check. You'd be like, well, you could whine. Oh, we couldn't afford it. It was 2 years after the Civil War. The country was bankrupt. Millions of people are dead. The South is in disrepair. The North is angry. And this guy, Seward, comes up with an idea to buy frozen tundra, a lot of it, from a bunch of Russians that wanted the paper. Okay? So people have done things under worse situations. But you can see here the normie strategy is you owe $3 trillion. You're not getting anywhere. The maxi strategy pays off your debt. The double maxi strategy makes you rich. The triple maxi strategy makes you very rich. Why? Because you're buying the property that everybody is running to in 100 years, and you just go buy it now. Like, Standard Oil was nothing. There was no gasoline. There were no automobiles. We had no diesel locomotives in 1867. We invented all that stuff, but common sense says, oh, I can buy something that's equal to about 1/5 of the size of the nation for a few dollars. Why don't I just grab it? Bitcoin strategy for wealthy foreign countries. Let's say you have a lot of money. You know, maybe you're Saudi Arabia or Norway, and you make a lot of money. Well, what's your strategy? You want to be a normie, a maxi, a double maxi? A maxi puts 25% of their money into Bitcoin. A triple maxi goes 75% and converts their surpluses into Bitcoin. Here's what happens. You just get insanely rich. $58 trillion of rich. But, you know, more than that, this strengthens your national security because you end up with $50 trillion or more of digital capital nobody can take. You know, they can't steal it, right? They bomb your country, they invade your border. They're not getting the Bitcoin, right? So this is good for your financial security and your national security. But note, if you are Saudi Arabia or Norway, and if you pursue the triple maxi strategy, Saylor says it's very easy to do, but it's 4.2 million Bitcoin you end up with at the end of that line. That means there's not a lot of room for triple maxis, not at the nation state level, right? There's going to be one, there might be two. At some point, right, this is an opportunity for an aggressive mover. You can have a lot of triple maxi families and a lot of triple maxi corporations, not a lot of room for triple maxi nations. And let's look at the U.S. U.S. is a special case. Well, the rules are still the same, right? Buy Bitcoin, sell the paper, get rid of your gold, go long range. And the don'ts are still the same. Don't harass the Bitcoiners. Don't send the industry overseas. Don't send the capital overseas. But what's our base case here? Well, we think that AI and new technology is going to drive growth. I mean, I'm going to assume that the United States is going to be run by competent executives, and they're going to harness technology, and we're going to actually take advantage of AI, and we're going to create robot cars and robots and, billion-person websites that give you free accounting and legal and medical advice. And all that's going to grow our revenues faster than it grows our expenses, and we'll eventually get to the point where interest rates come down. But the question is, what's the United States Bitcoin strategy? And we could be normies. You could be a 10%er. That's kind of like buying 500,000 Bitcoin. You could buy 1 million Bitcoin. A double maxi is 2 million Bitcoin. A triple maxi is buy 4 million Bitcoin. And then start sweeping the surplus of the nation when it comes into Bitcoin. And the consequences? Well, if you're a normie, if you're a normie and you have great productivity growth and brilliant technology and the robots do all the work for us, you're still going to be in debt. It just won't get much worse. I mean, that'll save us. We need that. If you're a maxi, you'll pay off half the debt. If you're a double maxi, you got a surplus. And if you're a triple maxi, instead of owing 30 trillion, the nation has 30 trillion. Right? Bitcoin is not the solution to all our problems. It is the solution to half our problems. And the important point is, the other half are very complicated. They'll take a lot of people and energy. This half is simple. This is a very simple thing to solve half our problems. So, Bitcoin is cyber Manhattan. Hundreds of trillions of dollars of capital are going to go there. We're going to demonetize Russian tundra and Chinese real estate and everything in Africa and all of the crappy buildings. Everything anybody bought that they didn't need, it's getting demonetized. You buy a Bitcoin, you own a building. Otherwise, a boulevard, otherwise the entire neighborhood. It's only 276 to the third. That's what you're looking at right now. And I'm going to leave you with one quote. Satoshi Nakamoto kicked off the Bitcoin network January 3rd, 2009. On January 17th of 2009, 14 days later, 16 months before Pizza Day, when Bitcoin was worth nothing, and it was not going to be worth anything for a year, Satoshi Nakamoto said it might make sense just to get some in case it catches on. If enough people think the same way, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And never have wiser words been spoken. You're staring at $1 trillion of proof, but there's still 1,000x to come, and you have a lot more information at your fingertips. The writing is on the wall. Bitcoin is the future of capital. It's the future of money. It might make sense to get some, because it has caught on. Thank you.